right. Welcome, everyone. This is Michael Skye, your guest host on the Seduction Show podcast. We're here with a great adventure in the land of women. And we've come to sit at his feet and hear his stories of epic adventures. Hear his path in the land of women, and he's still on the edge of adventure, seeking greater mastery, and we're just going to hear about where he's come from and what he's up to next. Welcome to the Seduction Show, Hans Comyn.
Well, thank you, Michael Skye. Yeah, we've been talking about, well, this past couple of weeks actually, about commitment and adventure, and can we combine them inside relationships. And throughout the years, I've realized not only is it possible, but it's essential to have both with your woman, with your women, to make it work, to help her thrive. And as we were thinking about it, I was looking back at my journey through the land of women. And I realized actually this morning that I've been figuring this out, trying to figure out with a lot of trial and more error for the past 20 years, at least 25 years. And
How to get laid.
No, that's the next phase. One day.
You're halfway there, another 20 years.
If the stars align. But really is like a story of trying to combine these two desires. Is on the one hand, I love women, and I want to show up powerful with them, committed in a way. I realized very early that commitment is the cornerstone of every relationship. And I want to show up powerful, committed, have it a win-win. If she doesn't feel great about it, I don't. And have her thrive, have me thrive. I want this. And at the same time, I want to honor my own desires, my own sense of adventure, my love for women. And how to combine both has been a challenge for 25 years. Not because it's not possible. Quite the contrary, I know now. But because our society pushes us in one of the ways. And so...
In one of what ways?
Like we think it's either commitment or it's adventure. You know? You want to be in a committed relationship or you want to be an adventurer. That kind of sense. And it's ridiculous, you know? So I had those desires very strongly, both of them. And because there is only one societal way of relating, or one clear, which is the monogamous, cohabitant, romantic relationship, and there doesn't seem to be like accepted, well-articulated, traditional alternatives to that, I would go into a relationship, a traditional relationship. And so really explore the idea of commitment, showing up powerful, you know, and instantly I would feel that something like, well, maybe not instantly. I would go into the traditional relationship because, one, there's no alternative that I could see that was presented. And two, if I really liked this girl, it seemed possible that I would not want to be, say, with other women, that I would not want to go and explore the world, also independent of her, with her, but independent of her as well.
So take us back to your story, and let's take us back in time.
Okay, well, I was very late. I had my first girlfriend, I think, when I was 18, you know. I was a virgin till 21. And there were girls in my life. For some reason, I didn't go there. So many regrets about this. But I would kind of slip into a relationship. I'm thinking of the girls now, and I just slip into that relationship.
Tell us about one.
Well, the first one was a relationship, a traditional relationship. You know, you just kind of, well, you can't really tell about it because it's like you slip into it. It's assumed. It's completely like non.
Was this the one with your sister? But tell us about one. Like, I'm really interested to hear about like a moment in your life and a specific girl.
Right. Well, it was your sister. But like, I'm not gonna name names. You know, I'm not gonna name names. But the girl I'm starting in at university. You know, 21. I'm starting with this girl, and I think even now we're in a relationship. We're together. You know. And I think I think this girl is great. It's fantastic. She's smart. She's beautiful, gorgeous. The sex is fantastic. Like, is great, you know. And she's in every way perfect. And so that's why you get it. That's why I go into the relationship first. But after a while, or quite rapidly, I'm sensing, hey, this is perfect. But I also want to know what's around the corner. I mean, I'm not gonna have just sex with her for the rest of my life, right? Sex is great, and my body's telling, yeah, but you were already with her, you know. Get something new, or go and look what's around the bend. Go what else is out there in the world, you know. And it's perfect, but I still want to explore this, and that has been the real guide into really exploring this, which is not that my relationship were not great. They were great, but this growing sense that there must be something out there, and I cannot deny my own sense of adventure, my love for women.
So what happened with this girl?
I broke off, you know, because you come to terms with the way that I'm okay, then maybe he's not the boyfriend, because he needs this, or he wants this as well, or he's not ready.
She felt that?
I think so, yeah. He's not ready. This is way back.
She
now.
broke it off.
I kind of like drifted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in my history, it's usually the women breaking it off, because I don't see, like, I've learned not to. I don't really like say, oh, we're in a relationship now, and then I don't break it off either. So it goes on forever. It bleeds to death in a way, you know. And I don't break it off because that's another thing. I had a growing sense that I didn't understand what those relationships really are, you know. And I felt a growing sense that being in a relationship was really detrimental to relating well. And so I had a growing sense of, no, I want to incorporate this as well, this sense of adventure, and not lose this.
So when did things start to change for you?
It started changing when I'm thinking of the girl, I can say it, on Maria, and I was really in love with her. And
who is this girl? Tell us.
Romanian girl.
Uh-huh. Blonde, brunette.
Gorgeous woman, very seductive. Very elegant, very feminine, very joyful.
Guys want to know eye color, hair color.
Well, most of the guys who know me, I probably know her, but no, I'm not going to tell, you know,
Okay.
more. But I was completely in love. It was great. We were traveling together for a year. We saw the world, and spiritually we were growing. Sexually it was just fantastic, and still I'm thinking, the fuck, you know, there must.
So were you in a committed relationship with her, like an exclusive, sexually exclusive relationship with her at this point?
Yes, and we hadn't really. This is when I started talking, like, this is when I started being way more deliberate with my relationships. Like, we exchanged vows, and I really want to show up powerful with her.
Vows such as?
Our vows were something like, I commit to doing everything in my power to keep myself happy. I'll never hold you responsible for the way I feel. So you're off the hook. And whenever we're in disagreement, I will try to limit criticism, contempt, stonewalling, defensiveness. And there was some more, and it's really a vows in the sense of what my commitment to you is, which is a commitment of keeping me happy, not holding you responsible for the way I feel, and really a commitment to how I will deal with disagreement, how I will show up, and it was great. It was fantastic.
So you guys are traveling.
Yeah. And I feel a growing, this is, I'm putting it in this relation, but I felt this before, I quickly realized, my cock is saying, get me something new. My body's saying, I want to see what's around the corner. Go away, come back, but go away. I want to incorporate this, see, I got to, now that I put it on one story, it's like some realizations come way before, but as an example with her, I'm trying to incorporate this. And as I see in my growth as a man, what I do is I'm guided by that desire. I'm not denying it, I'm not ignoring it, and I bring it, I bring it to the woman because I have no point of references, no one really to talk with.
So tell us how that happened when you brought it to her.
I'll tell her, I see myself now telling it to another girl before, similar situation, fantastic girl, beautiful, and I would bring that to her, like I want to go in the world, and the way I would bring it was in a very non-inclusive way, like this is who I am, this is the kind of guy I am, and I want to incorporate this, and I won't be the boyfriend, and I won't be sexually exclusive, and I will not be the husband, in a very like my way or the highway, very upfront, honest way, because that's the only thing I could go by at that time. At least I'll be honest, And I remember meeting this girl was way younger than me, and she said to me, why would you bring it in such a strong way, my way or the highway, You're not really open for the future anymore. And she was right. I realized at that point what I did was I brought it in an attempt to, if something would go wrong, that I could tell her, I told you so. I was like defending myself. Mm-hmm. And I made a switch there where I realized there that I had a journey to go to into like bringing that a lot more inclusive of her and bringing that with the future open. Like not saying this is who I am, it's my way or the highway, I was like this, I am like this, I'll always be like this. Because you ain't, you could change.
Yes.
And so many relationships, trying to bring this in a way that I am more inclusive of her, that I am like putting my arm around her, look at it and say, okay, what can we do? And leave the future open, say, this is who I was in the past, this is how I look at things now, and the future, I think it's going like this, but it's still open, And what I learned is that I lead that now, like I'm not reacting to the girl bringing it up, what is this to you, where is this going? But I'm the one bringing these things. This is what I see for us, this is who you are for me, this,
So you bring that conversation to her before she brings it up.
I bring it up very quickly, and that's the work. Like, what is this? How can we shape this? What's next? It's like our systems, You review, you recommit, and you preview.
I can just see you going to her. So, who am I to you? What? Where is this going? Do we have a future?
But exactly. No, really, because the phrase usually is women asking to the guy, "Where is this going?" And I say to guys, be the first to say that to women.
Yes.
And it's not like you have to have your answer to it, What you need to bring to her is that you're thinking about this, that you're considering this, and what better way to do that than to not react to her question, but to bring it yourself, because she's sure as hell thinking about it. So when you bring that to the table, she's thinking, okay, he's thinking about this, which is what matters, you know, not the answer. Is like, okay, he's considering this, you know, and so that's what I learned. I bring this conversation very quickly. And I bring it very inclusive, like not, this is me and follow me, or my way or the highway, and I leave the future open.
So with Anna Maria, what happened there?
Well, Anna Maria is a very particular story, but we were bleeding to death, and then...
You were bleeding to death, meaning?
I could see that, like we exchanged vows, and then... we talked about this actually this summer with her, so I'm not saying it's not just my side of the story, you know. And I could see that it was very hard for her to honor the vows.
What do you mean?
To whenever, like one of the vows is whenever we're in disagreement, we turn towards each other, and I could see that there was a less loyalty from her side there, and she would turn away. You know, and yeah, without that empathy, nothing is possible. So I could see it bleeding to death, and then something happened, and then it was done. So that was very painful actually, but that's great because we didn't talk for about like 5-6 years, and the last couple of years we reconnected, and it was beautiful, fantastic. And this was the only relationship that really went sour and I didn't have contact with. So I'm very grateful that we're in each other's life, that we show up powerful for each other, and she has her life and I have my life. But it's great to be able to restore that. Also due to this, you know, due to like how can I show up? How can I show up? How can I show up powerful in her life? And yeah, what I have learned over the years is I found ways to communicate, to honor that desire, sense of adventure, love for women, bring that to a woman in a way that she sees what it means, and also show up powerful to her, that she can not only accept it but thinks, wow, this is great, this is something I want in my life. And I realized not only is it possible, but it's essential. If you really want to show up powerful, even if you're the husband or the boyfriend, you know, it's essential you incorporate this. Because I've seen so many guys who say, okay, I'll compromise, like ignore this, you know, and go into the relationship.
Give us an example of someone who's compromising as a boyfriend or a husband.
Okay.
You don't have to use names.
Yes. All right. I was talking with my friend. I'm very considerate of what he said, so I'm not going to say anything that I think is going on, but something that we agree on. Okay. And I had a friend actually at the beginning of Arzamarata. I had a great friend, and he was a fellow adventurer. He was packing to go and live, I don't know where, but he was a digital nomad. And at that point he met I remember I was starting to travel, he was going to start traveling, and he met the woman of his dreams.
Well, back up just a second, because he said, you told me this, he was about to go off on this grand adventure.
Yes.
And he said, the only thing that could stop me,
right,
is if I would happen to meet the woman of my dreams.
And he actually thought of this girl, and he said, the only thing that could stop me if I would meet a girl like that. Because he didn't think it was possible with her. And I think he said within those 24 hours that he said that girl gave him a call. I would like to talk to you. And she was breaking up with her husband. And they connected. And he's now with the girl of his dreams. Is the girl that he dreamt of as a young, even younger, and now they're together. And so they get married, they start a family, and but she doesn't share his sense of adventure, and there's no real space for him to explore that. So he feels like he's given up on that.
What do you mean? She has no real sense of adventure.
Like his first idea was, he already been traveling. I'm gonna revisit those places and go with her. You know, that's what I want. And then and then he realized that she doesn't have a desire for that. She doesn't have a desire for that, and what she sees as travel is once a year vacation to a place. You know, and
so what's his conflict?
Well, his conflict there is he wants to be able to go, and he thinks, but he would like to explore the adventure side, but he thinks that if I explore the adventure side, I'm going to lose the girl.
Mm-hmm. And so for him, adventure is not like adventure in the land of women per se.
Mm-hmm.
It's just traveling and going to new places and being an explorer.
I don't know about the side of other women, I don't know, but certainly it's this also. Mm-hmm. Certainly it's the exploration, the falling off the map, the traveling, the have a one-way ticket, you know, the
So perhaps it seems to him if he goes off on some expedition and that she'll stay behind, or it'll be a conflict,
yes.
Maybe he'll lose her.
Yes.
But if he stays with her and he keeps compromising this desire for exploration and being an adventurer, then what happens? Maybe something within him starts to die. What is the conflict there? What is his... So what if he just stays...
Well, I could feel, and he tells me also that after all these years, it is still, he says it's still something that he feels is unanswered, is not addressed fully. And he used the word compromise. Yeah.
I remember when you were telling me this story, and you said that his son...
Right. I was going to go into the example. So he's, like, he tells me too, like I talked to him about him, that it's possible, not only possible, it's essential. And he recalls his father, who he was born in Kenya, my friend, and he recalls they lived in England, and he recalls that his father took the family once to Kenya and visited all, you know, and he said all those years that my father was at home with us, for us there, because he was an adventurer, but he stayed at home for us in a way with the family. He says all those hours and days that he was with us, it's like, that's like one, you know. And he says that trip, a couple of days or a week, you know, that's one, you know, and that's the thing that is in his memory, you know. So all those days, weeks, years that he stayed at home for them, that's like, what does it, in a way, like, okay, you know, but that trip, that's the memory he has of his father, you know. That's what
that's who his father was for him.
That's who his father was. He also saw, that's when his father was the greatest.
Uh-huh.
That's when his father was the greatest, and all that time he spent at home. Yeah, okay, Dad, cool. But, you know, that was the thing. Take us to Kenya on this trip. And then he was talking, my friend, with the family. They were looking at pictures of his travels before they formed a family. And his son, who's now 8, I believe, is looking at the pictures. And so my friend is talking to him about this trip, with going there and going there. And the son says, wow, he's like, why are you not, I think the word is, why are you not an explorer all the time? You know? And my friend, wow, it really hit him, you know? It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
My son, like he saw, I think, now I'm assuming he saw in that moment, wow, my son wants me to be an explorer. He wants to see me like this. And fuck.
He saw maybe the look in his son's eyes about the image of his dad being this great explorer.
Yes.
And yet he's not, something like this.
And I'm the same as my father. Like I'm not answering that call in a way, you know? So I'm, you know, if my friend is watching, I'm for the sake of story, I'm also, like I'm putting in things that maybe he didn't say, but that I believe that may be going on, you know? So he's realizing, this is very clear, that he hasn't really answered that. and he compromised it in a way, and he needs to find a way back to that. Not only for his own soul, but long term he could see it affects the relationship with his son, with his wife, So he needs to be that explorer as well. He needs to find a way to do that, even in the face of his wife is thinking maybe, oh, don't go, He still needs to do that, He needs to do it for himself, for his son, to be that guy and incorporate that. And so long term, I think a lot of men see that, they're not really answering the call. And long term, they feel, fuck, it has detrimental consequences for my relationship, even with this woman who doesn't really want me to explore this. Yes. Or says she doesn't want me to explore this.
Yes.
So yeah, I think with time and too many years, I wish there was more men I could talk about this with. I wish there were more clear mentors. I saw some examples in Hugh Hefner, and I met some people, I saw some things with Zan, with Johnny. I learned some ways with you, like the importance of honoring, like in the way of communicating with a woman. But it's been so many years of trying to figure this out because there were no apparent alternatives, not well articulated. There's no man out there who could teach you this. And I think individually, I figured it out with most women. Meaning I can show up very powerful, very committed, and incorporate my sense of adventure, my love for women, and not just have her tolerate her, but be loved for it. It's the very reason she thinks, wow, this guy is different,
Not just have her tolerate you and how you are with that.
Yes.
But have her love you for it.
Yes. And it's the very essence that I have these two that makes her think, wow, this is a great guy, and I want him in my life, And I trust his lead on how we're going to shape this up.
He's someone who's not going to compromise.
He's someone who's not going to compromise. Yeah.
He doesn't accept limits.
No compromise, no limits, tolerates nothing, and at the same time, because that's what I'm learning from you, no tolerating doesn't mean my way or the highway. It's a really inclusive, honoring, showing up, way more powerful than, say, the classic boyfriend or husband, which is in many ways a set of assumptions. It's showing up as an ally, it's showing up as a leader of this family, it's showing up very, very powerful and taking ultimate responsibility.
Yeah, I can remember this has been a big theme in my journey too. I remember one woman in particular. I could tell she really loved me, and she wanted the chance to be in a committed relationship. I just, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I just want the chance that we could fall in love, that we could, I just want that experience. And I didn't even have a way of articulating what I desired or what I was committed to, and it was like a compromise in a way. I didn't want to hurt her, so I didn't want to bring it up, and I wasn't even sure about maybe what I was afraid of if I go on that journey with her, and it was this whole vague kind of unexplored area for me, and I imagine it's like that for a lot of men. It's this conflict is here, but it's not clear. We just kind of see, well, if I really did this, we can see all the potential negatives of that, and we don't quite see how we could really go for our adventure and be committed. It's just like this vague whatever.
It's the same with me. I didn't, the only thing I could go for was I don't want this. I don't want this. No, this is not right. This is not, I can feel it's not right. The alternative, I don't know. I really struggle, and I still do. I still struggle to form a different world and an alternative to that. And I think that's the power of that, societal narration. is that it is unclear.
Yes.
That you're like in it and you don't see anything else. You don't see the possibility.
It's so powerful to have models. I think
Yes.
that's the biggest way that humans learn is you see someone doing something that you want to be able to do or living in a way you want to be able to live, and then you can just look at them and then start to go in that direction.
Right.
It's the easiest way, but if there's no one out modeling it, it's so vague,
Right.
it's so unclear, and you're not even sure it'll work. You're not even sure it's possible.
Yes.
And you're risking a lot to be able, to be able to go for it.
I like when I saw Zan and the way he lived, when he was traveling and we were meeting girls. I remember thinking, "What? Wait! This is possible? I can actually." I remember discovering even the pickup community because I had to review the book of Neil Strauss, and I remember thinking, "Wait a minute! I could just talk to girls. Imagine this! I could just talk to girls." And I still remember thinking, "Wait a minute! That means." I don't have to wait for a bus anymore and just wait there. I can use that time to talk to girls. And then can you imagine that? Like it wasn't in my, or travel. It wasn't. I was in Belgium. Why? I still don't know. Yes. I say because I was playing football, semi-pro or football, and so I was there for the most part of the year. But I couldn't see myself traveling in the world. And then I meet Zan. I could talk to girls, and I could travel the world, and I can figure this out.
Yes.
It's a revelation. It's not just like the world opens up. It's like you've been looking like this into a tiny.
It's so interesting. I can see my Brazilian buddy Tom is watching. He invited me to Brazil for like 3 years, and in my mind, I'm thinking, Brazil. I just thought like jungle and dangerous and, natives running wild and people being killed and all kinds of stuff. And I thought, well, I don't speak Portuguese.
Right.
I only know one person there, and he wanted me to come to my work down in Brazil. And it doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
But what I was choosing between was not real Brazil.
Right.
I was choosing my really half-ass, clueless image in my mind of what it would be like, and my reality, which I knew. And so, that didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. When I finally, years later, had let go of everything, even let go of my business and everything, and I was not like guiding my own life. And then Tom invited me. I was like, well, yeah, let's go. I went there, had the easiest time doing my work that I'd ever had. It was easier than America. The events just came together. People just rushed in. It was like, what? And I realize now that the choice in my mind was completely false back then. And I think it's that way for men in this situation who have not experienced living a great adventure in the land of women and being committed. It seems... But the choice is false if you haven't done it before successfully. And
it's normal that then you don't choose it. And I'm not saying like try anything radical. But if you do sense that something is off, like I was feeling, fuck, this is not, you gotta at least try something different. You know? If you're feeling something's off in the States, you gotta at least go and try something different. Because you don't know. Like it's the same with Africa, I got invitations, even when I'm my traveling ways. I got invitations to Africa, friends going, and they were like, "Yeah, this is great," and I'm like, "Africa," as if I know what Africa is.
Right.
It's big, know. It's like I'm like, you got this image until your invitation came, and in some way, it seemed I don't know where I was at that place in time. Doesn't even really matter. I'm interested in why I choose something, but it doesn't really matter. I chose it to go there. And it was amazing. It was like, I can't have only so much Africa in a year or in a couple of years. But it's the most profound trip I ever did. Just that, to be there, And it was...
Well, let's go back because there's something really powerful about having someone who's been there, who's going back, who's inviting you, who's going to make it is going to welcome you, is going to take care of you,
Right.
and invite you into that whole world that he knows.
Good point.
That's like Tom invited me to Brazil.
Right.
So Brazil was, he really laid out the welcome. So wow, he's going to take care of everything, and I did that for you, which you may not have had with an invitation to Africa before. I don't know.
Yes.
But so it's really powerful to have a brother
Yes.
who really cares about you,
Yes.
who wants to take and show you this world.
Right. Yeah. So that's
And that's what you're offering. That's
Yes.
what we're offering to men is come with us. Let's show you this way of life.
That's what I hope with the story, that's clearly, that the showing up powerful, committed for women, incorporating your adventure, make it a win-win for everyone, is the greatest thing there is. It's not only possible, it's essential for your relationship. Otherwise, it will die if you deny, if you compromise. It will die. It's just a matter of time. And
let's stop there. If you're compromising on your sense of adventure for too long, you're starting to become more lifeless.
Yes.
More resenting yourself and resenting her. You're probably blaming her for the fact that you can't live your adventurous life. And then she's feeling that. She's feeling your resentment. She's feeling you're less alive.
Yes.
And then you're going to lose the magic with her. So just
you're going to lose it with her. It's short term. It seems like a good solution. Long term, it's not. It will die. Just think of my friend with his son. Like if his son is thinking my father could have been exploring, he's not. What story is that? That's not that relationship is going to wither because of it. It's not as glorious as it could be. And so I hope my story is an invitation to that. In fact, I'll put out the call that we have. We're exploring this, and we're looking for 12 visionary men from around. If this calls to you, this conversation, this story, we're looking for 12 visionary men from around the world who want to unite for an elite seduction mastermind, and we're gonna explore. The last frontier of this, of commitment and adventure in your relationships. And so that's why I want to tell the story. I want to meet the guys that they were very infrequent, I can think only of a couple of guys exploring this, but I want to be around this because
we want to find them
exploring.
Wherever they may be.
Yes.
And call them forth to stand among us in this exploration.
I was about to go in my camera as Neo, but I didn't. But what we want to do is question the compromise, which is at the core of the traditional Western monogamous romantic relationship. We want to re-articulate what it means to commit and what it means to be on an adventure. And I want each guy to be like a living example of it. He's doing it, not that he has figured it out. I'm currently thinking, I feel I figured it out with a woman, but I want to bring them together. How can I do that they live in the same house or the same houses? How can I set up houses, families across the world in this way? So I'm exploring this, and each man has to be a living example of doing this. He has to be committed
in his own way.
In his own way.
For his own version of commitment and adventure.
In his marriage, in his relationship, and whatever he figures out that this is his way. Because I want to be inspired. I want to learn more, and I want to converse, because I think the brotherhood in this is something I lacked, The mentorship is something I lacked, and it's what we want to offer and what we're looking for.
Yes.
So if you're one of these men, contact me or Michael. If you're as a woman very inspired by this, contact me.
Or if you know someone, if you know a man who would be great for this mastermind, send him our way.
See you tomorrow.
Welcome, everyone.
I'm not done yet.
This is Michael Skye, your